Well, I got to tell you, if there's nothing I've learned more importantly in the last 56 years is health is a priority. You have to make it that. It's amazing how what you can do when you're younger, you can't get away with when you turn 30, 40, 50. Each of those decades changed quite significantly. I've learned more about my health and taking time to be centered, to relax, to connect, to ground yourself. There's something to be said about taking your shoes off and just walking in the dirt or the grass. It really centers you.
Welcome to A Founder's Life, and I'm your host, Leo Kostetner. My guests and myself share our entrepreneurial journeys and our methods for a balanced life. And I'm joined here today by Cindy Grabowski. Cindy, thanks for joining. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Absolutely. Thank you for having me as a guest. So, Cindy Grabowski, I live here in Phoenix, Arizona. I've spent 30 years in MedTech, leading clinical research, but I'm more than just my career. So I would say I am a strong leader that believes in authentic and servant leadership. I'm a mother. I'm a wife. 4 kids that can't call them kids anymore, 35 to 22. So exciting household, and have a wonderful tribe of great friends that remind me what life is really about.
I think they're always kids, whatever age they are.
I always tell them that. You'll always be my cubs. I'm sorry. Yeah.
And so you talk about family and you talk about friends. So let's talk about, what do you define as family?
Family. Wow. I would say that it's been interesting. It's changed over the years. My parents were divorced when I was younger, so I introduced something that you didn't think about back then. I then got married, got divorced. My children are from a blended family. I have 2 of my own and 2 from my husband, but I call them my family. What's even funnier than that is I have some amazing best friends that they're sisters to me. So family becomes almost blended. It's more of a connection. It's where you spend your time. It's a reciprocal give and take. They're there for you. You don't have to be on the phone all the time. When you pick it up, it feels like it was just yesterday, or they live down the block. How about you?
You know, I wrote an interesting article on that to do with my digital nomad journey. And I was like, yes, I mean, home is where the heart is, the old saying, but it's also friendship. It's what you make of it. It's, family is, well, number one, actual family I've found come to visit me, which is always good. But also, good friends. I think it all makes up what I define as family.
I
And
love it.
that can be
Yeah.
anywhere.
Right. Yeah. And it's oftentimes those that I've chosen to be in my circle, and vice versa. They've chosen me to be in their circle. Yeah.
Yeah. Your chosen family.
Yeah, exactly. I love that.
Often preferred to the
Sometimes for sure you're like, okay, so we're blood connected. Sometimes they're crazy. Yeah.
And talk to us a little bit about work, both what you're doing now and also the journey that took you to where you are now.
You bet. So I made a pivot at 56 last year. I quit my job, my corporate job, where I was involved in MedTech from the ground floor. I'm a non-traditional leader in the MedTech space because in 1994, I was working for a MedTech company in Seattle, Washington, and I was a secretary in that company as a temp secretary. And the chief medical officer came by my desk one day and he said, Cindy, we have an entry-level role in our clinical affairs or clinical research, and I'd like you to apply for it. I think you'd be great at it. You push paperwork like nobody's business and people like working with you. And at that time, I was really kind of reassessing. I thought, well, there's no way I could get this job. I didn't go to college. I had 2 young children at home, and I had self-imposed a ceiling above myself just from what I had heard around me. I had assumed you would have to have a science degree for that. And he said, no, Cindy, we can teach it to you. I challenge, we can teach you. And I thought, all right. So applied for it, got it. So fast forward 30 years down the road, I have now worked for 9 medical device companies. 7 of those have been startups. And in a startup world, you have the unique opportunity to kind of be involved in way more. It blends the edges of a career of what you're doing. You may end up being really, really good in one specific area, but you get to see and be involved in things that are much broader. So that really led me to Last year, when I quit my job, I decided I went to our CEO. I was a VP of clinical affairs at that company, and decided I wanted to do something to give back. If if I'm only 10 years away from where my retirement goal is, how did I want to spend that time? How did I want to make a bigger impact in our world? I know that that chief medical officer who opened the door for me, what could I do? And then maybe bigger than that, open the door for others. So last year, I quit my job, sat down with 32 of my closest colleagues in MedTech that cover a whole bunch of areas in quality, regulatory, clinical, data management, reimbursement, and marketing, and said, hey, I want to build a online e-learning school called MindGrove, and it's for introductory roles into medtech, bringing awareness to there are really wonderful roles and middle class wages in a really great environment. Started that. Good news is my 32 closest friends said, sure, we'll do it with you. And we've taken a unique concept to this. All of these other folks that I'm working on this with, they have regular jobs. Either they have their own consulting firms, they still work in their corporate America job today. I am the only one so far this last year that has spent 100% of my time building it. The rest of the team have been 5 hours, 5 to 10 hours a week. And it's amazing how far we've gotten in that time frame. We're launching our first module at the end of July called MedTech 100. So it's scary. It's crazy to think that me, who did not go to college, is building a technical school. And it really drives home the point that you don't have to go to formal education, in my mind, to be a lifelong learner.
I think that makes sense. And I did go to college. I did do school and stuff, but for me, it was the non-educational side that was the
Really?
interesting part. I mean, I was abysmal. I failed every exam I've ever taken. I mean, there's some of my school reports are on my website. They're entertaining,
Oh,
but
really?
yeah, it's yeah, exams were never my strong point. But yeah, I think but I certainly grew as a person. So I think for me, that's what university was good at. But
Absolutely.
yes,
I
I
can
think
see why. Well, people ask me, especially in med tech, when you think about medical device development, manufacturing, I get a lot of challenge because they are very old school in what they expect for a bachelor's degree. And then they challenged when I started the school. They were like, are you saying people shouldn't go to college? And absolutely not. I don't want to go to a doctor that hasn't gone to med school. I am the first one to admit that. But I don't believe every career means that's where you have to start. So if someone opens the door, the beauty about careers in med tech is the companies are very invested in education. So they give you a stipend every year, and it could be anywhere from $1,000 to $7,500 a year. Go to school on their dime. Why go on your dime and put yourself in debt, especially in the economy we're in today? Our goal in our company is open the door for others and then get them somewhere where they can be supported to get that education if it's something that's necessary for their role.
yeah, I mean, I think education in America is obscenely expensive.
You've
So
said it, nailed it right on the money. It's crazy. All four of our kids win, and they've all graduated now. Anywhere from $70 to $120,000 for them to go for the 4 years. Unbelievable. And two of them came out, had no way to get a job. The beauty of that is they came out and then they were coming, moved back home, and they're going, I'm applying for jobs. And what I'm hearing is, I don't have any experience, so they want to hire me. How do I get experience? And I thought, well, we just spent 70 grand on an education. It's hard to break in even once you do have the education. So there's something broken here. And we don't know that MindGrove is the sole answer, but I think it's a step in the right direction.
certainly sounds it. I'm excited to check it out.
Yeah, absolutely. We have a website, mindgrove.com. Come on by and check it out.
Perfect. And what does health mean to you? How do you, whether that be mental health, physical health, nutrition, how are you looking at health
Health in general. So MindGrove is about education. Are you asking me specifically about mine?
personally?
Personally, got it. Yeah. Well, I got to tell you, if there's nothing I've learned more importantly in the last 56 years is health is a priority. You have to make it that. Um, it's amazing how what you can do when you're younger, you can't get away with when you turn 30, 40, 50. Each of those decades change quite significantly. I've learned more about my health and taking time to be centered, to relax, to connect, to ground yourself. There's something to be said about taking your shoes off and just walking in the dirt or the grass. It really centers you. My oldest son, who's 35, owns a baseball training facility up in Kirkland, Washington. And he's funny because he was the one that came to me and said, Mom, you need a whoop. You don't know how you're recovering. So it's amazing what we learn through our children. He came and he's like, you need to get on, make sure you're doing enough protein, enough collagen. And he's pushing the diet and the exercise. And he calls me almost every morning. How's the morning? You're going to kick butt today. I've got your walk in. What did your whoop say? What kind of recovery? And I thought, wow, it's so amazing that we didn't get introduced to any that I didn't at my younger age. And now to have my older son telling me, here's what you need to do for longevity, for mobility. So you have the quality of life where you can go out and do adventures and take time. We all work so hard. I look at my peers. We've worked so hard to get to the pinnacle of our careers. And we put oftentimes family events, traveling, and our own health at risk to do it. And it's a shame because you hear how many stories you hear where people retire and then they die within 5 years of retirement. I'm like, certainly don't want to be that statistic. Yeah.
It's very true. And what do you like to do for fun?
For fun. Well, I've changed geographies. So I used, for a good portion of my life, I lived in Minnesota and then before that, Seattle. In 2017, I moved to Arizona. I live in Phoenix, Arizona today. So seasonally, different things to do here. I love to go hiking. So we have some of the most amazing mountains. Now that pretty much takes out the summertime. It's too hot here. But hiking, they do night hikes here with groups, which are really fun. I like that. I like doing HIIT training, exercise, weight training, but with movement involved. I've just started yoga because I'm learning as I get older. Flexibility is as one of my good colleagues says to me, use it or lose it, which means motion is lotion. You need to be moving always. And yoga certainly it calms the mind at the same time of just really relaxing and stretching. Those are my favorites.
I like the lotion. What was it?
Lo-
Movement is lotion. What did you say?
motion is lotion.
Motion is
Yeah.
lotion. That's an interesting one because I often say that when I'm running,
Yeah.
especially after that first couple of miles and I get into longer runs, my body, any aches and pains go away. I always call it's like oiling the joints. It
Oh,
suddenly
right. Yeah.
feels better.
Isn't that funny? Okay, so my sister was into running when she turned 50, and I think at that time I was 47. She decided she was going to run. When she turned 50, she was going to run 50. I got to remember exactly. She ran a race in every country or every state she'd ever lived in, and she asked me to run with her in the states that we had both lived in. So we ran a half marathon in Chicago, Illinois, the Hard Rock, and I got to tell you, I'm not a runner. I'm 6'1" and was not running when I was younger. I enjoyed that year of training probably way more than I ever expected. And when we got into the race, the first couple miles, it felt like, okay, I'm a little hitchy. I got to get it. And all of a sudden, I found my group. My sister's like, "You're going to get a better time than I am." I'm like, "No, I'm not. No, hang in there. I'll slow down." But it really was so enjoyable. And I loved running through the city. I trained in downtown Minneapolis. So I was get up in the morning at, 4 or 5 in the morning and I'd run through the city and it was silent, but so cool. What you see when you get out and look around, when you're out there all by yourself, it's magical. I really enjoyed it. My knees did not enjoy it. And I kind of put up my running shoes. So that come out 3 years ago.
Sorry to hear that. I think
Yeah.
it's I 20 years ago I definitely was not running. I was a big guy, but I'm happy to say I'm the fittest and healthiest I've ever been. And I started 6 months ago running marathons, 9 months ago
Wow.
now, and I've done 2 marathons, and I'm going to be doing the 7 majors over the next 2.5 years, starting with
Holy
Berlin in September.
cow. That's amazing. Leo, that's
So it's fun.
awesome. How exciting. Did you ever
It
think
is.
20 years ago when they said, guess what you're going to be doing, Leo, in 20 years? You're going to be doing the 7 majors.
Yeah, my father always says to me, if I ever write an autobiography, it'll be from couch potato to fitness freak.
Well, you're doing it the right way. You're aging backwards. What is that movie? Benjamin Button. You're going the other
Yeah.
direction.
I have got faster. I've got older. It is fun. I don't want to quite do the Benjamin Button. I quite enjoy getting older. But
Okay. Getting wiser for sure. I love that. Yeah.
and it sounds like you have a pretty balanced life. How does a balanced life look for you?
It's intentional. I will say that. It is you know what I've learned the most for balance life for me is taking the time for myself as well. The beauty of getting older is you get to really fall in love with yourself and get to know yourself. So a balanced life to me is the routine that I'm committing to good food, healthy input in food. I'm feeding the engine or the beast the right amount of food and the right type of food so I feel healthy and then I get a fulfilling day. Um, Taking the quiet time with family, making sure I recognize them, reaching out to friends. I love to do funny memes or little jokes or video messages, but really not getting all consumed with work. And when I do that, it doesn't feel like work when I am working. It's like, okay, I enjoy that. For so many years of my life, I would say the first, wow, gosh, 25 years I worked, I felt like I was working to pay the bills for that ultimate retirement date. And about 7 years ago, I said, no, this has got to change. And when I changed my mindset, got put myself as a priority, spent more time with my friends, intentional with my children, changed my relationship with my kids, probably in the last 5 years, where although I'm mom, I'm friend. And so I try to remind them. And it's interesting because they're getting to know me as a person and not as mom. So it's really all encompassing. And if you take those time for me, it's super rewarding and it's what keeps me happy. I think I'll be around for a while.
Perfect. Happiness is one of the best secrets to longevity.
Isn't it though? I love what is they, the blue ocean. What is it? The diet they have. But the people that live the longest, they talk about it. So much of it is community.
Yeah.
And this, I worry in the world of isolation, in the world of uh, where I see kids now, they don't get asked out. And when my children were younger, coming up the youngest, they didn't go out and ask somebody out. They texted them out. The bravery that comes with that and the skills of community is so important to really living a well-rounded life and being happy. So get out, shake it, get to know your neighbors, shake their hands, smile at people in the airport. I do that and you should see how they react. How many people will look at you and you'll smile at them and then they glance up like, did she just smile at me? I don't know you. I think it's important. It's free. It feels amazing. And how many people you just watch the way their stature picks up when they walk by you. Yeah, it's so easy to do and we don't do it enough.
Easy to bring a little bit of enjoyment to both your life and theirs in that
Yeah,
little moment.
right. It's such a great gift. That moment of connection to feel like you've been seen. Wow.
Well, here's an easy question for you because you pretty
Okay.
much answered it. But what's been a pivotal moment in your life?
Pivotal moment. Clearly when I decided to quit my job, I'd lost my father and my stepmother, very close to them. And I thought, really, is this it? Is this the journey? And that was the big deal when I went to my boss and he said, you're crazy to quit. You have a phenomenal job. Why would you walk away from it? I said, hey, I want to take all the rest of my life savings and I want to go cash in every friend ticket I have and do something different. You know, what's crazy is I've grown more in this last year of building MindGrove than I did in the 30 years. Although I learned a lot about a career pathway, I learned a lot about how to do a job well. I'm learning right now how to be versatile, how to be open, how to be authentic, how to be vulnerable. To go from being an expert in one of your fields, you drive hard to be smart in that way, to being jack of all trades. You have to be a generalist when you run a company. It's so completely different. And how you lead is so important, mirroring that. So when I take a vacation, making sure I tell everybody in the company, I'm taking a vacation, laptop not coming with, turned off. Good luck to you. I know you guys are capable beings. I doubt the business will burn down while I'm gone. It's important to show that and to be transparent because I do think that what we do in our everyday life impacts those around us. And although they may not say it, they see it. So quitting my job, craziest and bravest thing I've ever done.
Perfect. It seems like it was and the best decision.
For me, for sure. I think I worry a lot of people around me. You know, when you become the main breadwinner, you become the stable one, the one that's done everything. Everything's, well, what does it mean now for me? I'm like, you guys are all adults now. Go get it. Go claim it. It's all yours.
Isn't that when you say, yeah, now you're going to look after me?
Right, exactly. Where's the ADU? Where's the little mom and mother-in-law corner in the back? I'm ready to come visit you now. Yeah.
Perfect. And I think it's interesting, you talk about completely switching off when you're away. And I think people work in different ways. I think a lot of people need that complete switch off. They need to recharge.
Yeah.
For me,
I have a
I
feeling
work.
you don't. Look at the look on your
I
face.
do and
Yeah.
I don't.
Okay.
So, I'll do a little bit of work in the morning, a little bit of work in the evening, but then I
What?
can completely switch off in the middle. So, some
Wow.
people doing a little bit of work makes their mind actually non-stop the whole day. For me, doing a little bit of work actually allows me to switch off my mind because I know I'm on top of stuff and I can ignore everything. So actually, that to me allows me to switch off better. Whereas I'm the kind of person who would be stressing about what needed to be done
Yeah.
if I couldn't have that little bit. But it's not that I'm certainly doing a lot less. Everyone knows I'm away. I'm not, and I don't do phone calls when I'm away unless it's an
Oh, nice.
emergency. It's
Yeah.
just, a quick, set of emails in the morning, set of emails in the evening, and then I can switch off my mind
Okay,
during the
so
day.
question for you. Has it always been that way for you in your career, or is it
It
something?
actually all has, but I've always been an entrepreneur. I mean, I started my first business when I was
Well,
13,
there you go.
but I remember going on my honeymoon in 1998, and yes, I took a laptop with, and but again, it was fine. I'd
Yeah.
disappear for an hour and get stuff done,
Right.
and that would be it for the day.
Absolutely. Well, good. I mean, find what works for you for sure. I've done vacations where I took my laptop and I wrote my emails, but I put them on delay send because I was always afraid if I sent them, somebody would feel like, oh my God, she's working, I must work, or I have to respond, or intentionally putting something in there to say, hey, send this over to you, no rush. I'm gone for a week. We'll talk about it when you get back. But yeah, I always worry that my wake is ensuring or making them feel like they should be doing something while I'm gone. I'm like, yeah, I'm sure you are. I trust you.
I like that. And what is one piece of advice you could give to a
Mm.
aspiring entrepreneur?
Wow. Talk to everybody about it. Share your story, share your vision. I've got to tell you, the things that are working well for MindGrove have come from the most non-planned. I didn't expect it. And it had to come from anybody that will stop and listen. I ask about what they do. I share what we're doing. And what's surprising is how many times people say, oh my God, I know somebody. Have you thought about? Did you go down this pathway? What did you think here? It's just reaching out and sharing it. Not only does it get you better at honing your vision of what you're trying to build and learning to communicate it in a really succinct way, but also learning from others that maybe we're missing something. Maybe there's more there, or maybe there's a connection for us. And I'm amazed. My tree just turned on. Did you see that? Sorry.
I did see that. I was impressed. Didn't know if you waved a hand
I
and the
did
tree
it
came
on a
on.
timer. I love my palm tree. I don't live by a beach. Arizona, I lost all of my water world. So I thought, well, the palm tree comes with me. So yeah.
um, well, it's been a really fun conversation and great to have a chance to hear your thoughts. And how can people find you?
Uh, Great way. You can find me in multiple ways. You could go to LinkedIn, Cindy Grabowski. You can find me on there on LinkedIn. I am also on our website, www.mindgrove.com. There's a link at the bottom. So you can get a hold of me there. Would love to hear from you. If you're starting a business and you're in the Phoenix area, especially, feel free to reach out to me because I'd love to have some comrades to sit next to and have tea with and share stories. But thank you, Leo. This has been great. I really enjoy your podcast, and I love the holistic view you have when you interview folks.
Well, thank you. And thank you for listening to today's episode. If you enjoyed this conversation, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, tell your friends, and please leave a review.